Hey everyone, good night and welcome to this first episode of my series on soul love and divine love and sexuality. Um, so tonight the topic will be just some general information about what soul groups are, what soulmates are, and what types you're likely to encounter, and what sort of roles they will play. So, first of all, I'm just gonna say hi to you all. Hi, Amanda. Hi, the Hermit, and everyone else. Um, I'm gonna do some talking first. This is, I'm gonna try to have this be like a bit of a class, if that makes any sense. Um, Hi, Arada. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So thanks everyone for being here. In the meantime, so as I'm just going to explain a few things, I'll be explaining my views, of course. This could be different from yours, but it's still this is my based on my experiences and what I have learned about this subject over the past 15 years or so. Um, and when I'm done with that, I will leave some space for because I try not to make this video like too long for people maybe watching later on. I like to keep it a little like keep the basic information in the beginning so they don't have to scroll too much. And after that, there will be time for questions and comments to discuss this in the live chat. So that's how I'm gonna try to do it. Try to build a little bit of structure in my streams, because I'm usually very chaotic. So, oh, is the sound crackling? It shouldn't be that way. Hey Nina, and hi Bella, hi Mr. Bobby. Um, yeah, if the sound is bad, I guess I have to make some adjustments, but it's choppy. Maybe I have to stop a few other programs that are running. See if it makes any better. It's probably why is there just going to wait till it's all better, because I'm not getting any messages that it's, at least it's not like YouTube not giving me any messages that it's bad or something. So if you guys can tell me if it's so good now. Okay. I don't know how that's possible because right here it just seems to be okay. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. Yeah, it's probably the internet connection. It should be good usually. Maybe I have to cut on programs or something. Is there some sort of updater that is running? I have a very old PC, so still bad? Wow. Hmm. Now I'm using my phone as a webcam, so that's the only thing that I can do. There's one more option. See if that makes it any better. Maybe it's also like spirit interruption or something. Sort of stuff happens sometimes. Okay. Okay, the visual is good, just sounds bad. I'm gonna try something. See if that makes it better. I was using the Wi-Fi for my and a smaller size. How is that? Is it any better now? Okay, yeah, I have to. So I have to keep talking. I just reconnected the webcam at a smaller size, so maybe maybe that helps. Is it takes a bit less. It takes less bandwidth that way, I think. Otherwise, it's just. Yeah, is it better? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, I just had to resize the thing. That it was like all the video was like maximum size, so it was probably taking up so much bandwidth that way. Okay. Okay, thanks guys. So that I know this for the next time that I have to use these settings. Okay. Good, good, good. Yeah, where was I? Gonna get started. I'm just having a nice. This is an almost no alcohol beer, so that's okay. It's like 2%. So it's a nice mix of beer with ginger and lemon. So yeah, tonight just this is basically a little introduction, sort of. To some people, this information might be nothing new, but I feel that I should, some people who are completely new to the entire concept of soulmates and soul groups, I'll probably be discussing a little bit of twin souls too, and probably why there are numerous reasons why you shouldn't be focusing on them too much. Right, so it's still good, right? Well, yeah, so yeah, I have to like, I feel like I have to cover the basic information that to some people that it's probably like nothing new for them. But yeah, sorry if that part is a little boring to some of you. But who knows, maybe, different views and all of that. So, yeah. It's always a little, like I have to get back in the zone when there's like these interruptions and things like that. I have to get my mind back in the right, in the right zone, so to say. So basically, to put it a little roughly, what are soul groups? Soul groups are, in a very broad, the most broadest term, I would say they are clusters of energy. They are soul clusters. So basically, if you look at the source we all came from, there are different. I call that the source. Some people may even call that like God, or I don't think that is. Well, yeah, that's up to everyone for themselves. But yeah, the source that we all came from. That is basically one could see that as one big mega cluster of energy. And there are all these subclusters that have formed, and basically in one of these subclusters is you, or your higher self, along with another, and even then, this group that you feel like mostly connected to, even in that group, that is still very large. That is still a very large cluster of souls. And at some point, where in one way you can all like trace it all down, trace it all back to the source, and where we're all connected. At some point, you may also want to sort of narrow it down to and start small, in a way. Start with those who are the clusters who are closest to you, the subclusters, and that's where we get to your closer soulmates, or the soulmates that will probably be more prominent in either your life or your lives. The souls who are more connected to you on this planet or around this planet, and who might be the ones popping up during the course of this series, mostly. So that's what I'd like to narrow it down to mostly, because otherwise it's endless, basically. So this smaller subcluster, I would like to, or just smaller clusters, I like to call them your travel group. They are your travel companions, and also your fellow classmates and teachers. So it is still possible within this smaller group. It's still a big group, it still consists of many people, spirits, beings that are all could be all over the place. It is possible within that group, just like in a class. I mean, the teacher, for instance, the class teacher is part of the class in a way. So the teachers are also part of that group. That's in one way or another. And there's this whole thing where they have, of course, you can be part of multiple groups too. I mean, just as we all have our own, kind of comparable to how we all have our own circle of friends, to our own families and things like that. But yeah, so, but it's also possible within this travel group or this classroom that some are a bit slower. So sometimes if you're in a classroom, so you need someone who will have to skip a year, for instance, because they travel a bit faster, and some others will have to do something over. So this way, it is possible to have very quite some different levels of ascension or descension within a group of souls, but they will always kind of find ways to get back to each other, because if travel buddies, you're not gonna leave each other out completely. So when it comes down to the ones you will likely meet in your life, they are basically just about anyone in your life who has a prominent part in it. It could be your family, your friends, lovers. It doesn't have to be lovers per se, of course, but most of these people are souls who you have made agreements with. This also counts for spirits that you work with. These spirits, like I said, they might be on the top of that class, or they might be the teacher, or the faster runners, they might be up there, and it's still. So that means that a spirit can be part of your soul group too. They can at least be part of your cluster, which is which could be why some spirits appeal to some people more than others, because they are part of their soul cluster. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look hard. I think it's I think it should be back now. I might there's like a little delay between what I'm filming and what's being sent out, so you might see me disconnect again. I did that on purpose to reconnect. So there might be a small pause again in a few seconds. But let me see. I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Okay, so yeah. I'm waving now so that I can see that it's like that part is being sent. I guess it's all gonna be okay one way or another. So yeah. Okay, that's all good. I'm so sorry for this. This is like so, I don't know, it's weird. Maybe it has to do with the subject. I don't know. It can be a heavy subject. So now I don't remember where I left. Um, so these soul groups, yeah. So basically, most of the people who you meet in your life, for well, some of them stay for longer, even the shortest meetings, but a lot of them are souls who you have made an agreement with. Um, and these agreements can be made for various reasons. Usually, right now, where most of us here who are here are, um, we are trying to help each other ascend. That's what we're basically. We're still like in a sort of survival mode almost. Like our soul groups are still. We're trying to gather up. That's also like we're trying to reconnect. Um, so these travel groups are, well, just as the name suggests, they are a group of souls who travel together, um, who have descended together and who are now also ascending together, and they will be there for each other. Um, some will be the pushers, others will be pulling. Um, they are sharing experiences, sharing lives even. Um, studying together, teaching each other, and in every way getting each other ready to move on, because as a group, know you're only as fast as the weakest person in there, or as the slowest person. um, Now there are sometimes it does happen that the group that doesn't move at a pace that is good for you. Sometimes they are too fast or too slow. So it happens at times that people are disconnected from their own group, sometimes on their own will, because they want to go somewhere else for a while. It's the same thing that happens if you travel together. Sometimes you want to just go on your own a bit, but at some point you want to return, and with your experiences, of course, and share what you've learned. So and at the same time, there are also people who are too slow. And this is something very harsh, but it happens sometimes if someone moves too slowly or is just being a dead weight, refuses to move forward. Sometimes they will be kicked out of the group. Um, as a lesson, it's very harsh, but it is something that we will be focusing on as well later on in the series. And but at some point they will be welcomed back if they if they meet the criteria, or if they have done what they have to do in order to be at the same level again as the rest of that group. So what types of souls or soul connections can you find within this travel group or your classmate? So that's what I wrote down, because the spirits I work with came up with a few different ideas that I had first. So first of all, there are the enrichers. Basically, they come to bring you something. They come to bring you lessons. Also possibly a way to, yes, and enriching your life, enriching your experience. There are the catalysts. Catalysts, I would say, they come in many forms, and they are extremely important. A catalyst is someone who drives you into action, and this is also how sometimes some of your most loving soulmates, in the astral, someone who really has good intentions for you, can be your worst enemy, because a catalyst has to make you angry or aggravate you in order for you to move in a certain direction. That's what a catalyst does. It doesn't have to be bad, of course. It can also be fun, like in a teasing, sort of playful way. But catalysts are there to move you. And of course, this whole list of things, you have these souls around you, but you yourself also take these roles for others. So you have your catalysts, but you are someone else's catalyst as well. So what else? There are the balancers, I would call them. I saw them as a bit like a seesaw sort of thing. These balancers, they can also cause big clashes, because oftentimes they will be exactly your opposite. They will be exactly what you are not. And they will show you what you are not and teach you what you are lacking. Sometimes this can be very harsh. It's the same thing with mirror. I hate that word in English. Mirrors. Okay, so mirror souls. They show you what you are, but also all your flaws. And by being exactly like you. So that can be a very harsh confrontation, but they're necessary. Like I said, all of these, I haven't even covered twin souls yet, or maybe some of these can be close soulmates, but it just shows that all these souls who are a bit further away from you, the regular soulmates. People talk about karmic soulmates as something that is just a waste of time, as compared to their closer soulmates or twin souls and stuff like that. But they're not. They're very, very necessary for you to help you, to show you what you have to do in order to grow. And in the meantime, you are teaching them as well. So, and it's just, they are so needed that to dismiss them, if you dismiss them, you will probably never truly get to that divine state of being, because you're, you know, the smallest things in your surroundings are still very important. These karmic soulmates, they bring about very important lessons, and I'd say they're like a way of doing shadow work, dealing with, bringing up the issues that you have to deal with. So what's next? I had a few more. So then there are the teachers and the students. This is often interchangeable because the teacher becomes the student and the student becomes a teacher at times. So yeah, these are once again souls that are in your life to teach lessons, but also to learn from you. And then there is also another role that they have is they are like your counsel. I'm sorry, I had to remove someone from the chat because someone is being rude. I'm gonna give him a timeout. Yeah, I don't really tolerate anyone talking shit to me in the chat. Like, that's just absolutely uncalled for. You don't have to be here. You know, if you don't want to watch this, go somewhere else. Just, yeah. Go somewhere else, go do something else with your life. You know, don't waste it on talk shit to me. I will get back to the chat room real soon. I just saw this pop up, like someone being disrespectful. What else? I think that sort of covers it in a way. I take notes, but I can't really read them. It's actually too dark. So I hope I didn't really forget anything. So yeah, these teachers and students. Another thing I would like to add is that this is something I learned from my own mother. This, so the way you can see this, and you yourself and all your connections around you. So the human soul is like a harbor, a port with ships coming in and out. And all of these ships have a role to play. All of them. All of these ships, some of them will bring something, others will take something away and ship it to somewhere else. Some of them stay for a while, and some of them leave immediately. But none of them is to be dismissed or to be disregarded. All of them are important, and all of them have things for you to do, messages for you. You have messages for them. You have tasks for them. They have tasks for you. The interaction, no matter how short, even if it's just someone you talk to for a few minutes who leaves a mark on you or awakens you, like that that can already be someone in your soul group. So that is something I think is very important to keep in mind. And as people are only focusing on that one and only twin soul, they miss out on so many others who are very important too, and who have even if it comes to, if you're looking for a romantic relationship, it's such a waste of time to be focused on that one and only twin. So I I just I'll cover that real quick. My ideas on twin souls. I call them close soulmates because there's this other thing where I don't believe every soul group is constructed in exactly the same way. We're all we all have our different constructions for different reasons. So there's no one way of saying that this is how it's going to be for all these other groups too. I probably know more or less know the construction of my own soul group, sort of like, or the one, the closest cluster. So that's where you get to twin souls, or but at some point, I mean, these the closer you get, these very close soulmates, they're so very important, and so I mean, if you look on the internet, even you'll find people questioning like, "Oh, I think I found my twin soul," but then this other person or soul um, popped up too, and how is that possible? Do I have like three twin souls then? No, it's just that once you are receptive to this, once you have opened yourself up to this higher form of soul love, it still doesn't have to be sexual. You know, this can be your close friend or a family member to, you know, but once you have opened yourself to that, um, more of your closer soulmates will start showing up, and it will just become so very. I know several of my close soulmates, and mm, some of them are not incarnated, and it just gave me such a clear view of what sort of teamwork you do together, and how it's so. I mean, if I would have been looking for them in the physical, it would have been such a waste, because that's another thing. You know, it's another thing that soul groups oftentimes, like half of them or something is incarnated and another part is not, because they're the ones that are not incarnated are the ones who are coaching you from the astral. Meanwhile, you are doing the work here, and you switch places. um, that's just how that works. And sometimes your closest soulmates do their work in in coaching you, in keeping you company, watching your energies also. They may be best at doing that job when they are not incarnated. So it could be quite unlikely that your twin or actual like closest soulmates is incarnated, because it's just, and it's a good way, you know, to truly learn about unconditional love, because there is no physical. It transcends physical. It transcends the physical in a way, and yeah, it's just, and on the other hand, it's also most of the times these very close soulmates are the lessons that they are teaching you, but also the the, the sheer strength, the magnitude, or even yeah, of that energy. It is oftentimes beyond what this realm can take. It is undefinable, and it can it can destroy you in a way. It can be very, very painful. So sometimes it's just not ideal to be both incarnated. Sometimes it's just better to have a little bit of distance. Now, of course, this is all like there are many different individual cases about these things, but yeah, it's not the fairy tale that everyone makes it out to be, and you can have a really, I mean, the way I have a great relationship with my soulmates who are not incarnated. It's all really nice, and once you get past that idea that it has to be someone physical per se, um, yeah, it really gives your life such a boost. Um, it's not like I will never that I can be with someone physically, but um, it takes a lot of pressure off to not just be searching for someone who is perfect, but just more like going with the flow and allowing people in who you just know are going to bring good stuff on the long run. And it's just yeah, I think it's important that everyone to realize that we have a large group of soulmates with many different sorts of roles, and everyone brings different food to the table. So I think that's about it, actually. I hope everyone sort of understood what I've been talking about. So let me see. Let me have a look at the chat. Hey, Dice Controller. Who else is here? Hey, Friar. Hey, Arada. Yeah, I already saw you, I think. Yeah, this guy, some guy just sent the message they sent was censored because it was rude. So you guys didn't see that, but I did see it, so he's removed. Let me see if I can like block him. Yeah, he's gone. I'm sorry, I got like zero tolerance for rude people or trolls. Exactly, the hermit. It's a social contract. That's yeah, something. So yeah. That's why this whole idea that your soulmate has to be like something amazing or something completely romanticized. They can be your soulmate can be your worst enemy, teaching you a very harsh lesson. Sometimes that's just what needed. Hey, Arachnos. So Arachnos says, I had some strange dreams early in the year that seemed to imply that friends incarnated ahead of me and that I'd be alone in this incarnation or something like that. They were dreams, so I don't know. Well, it could be, um, but that is why. That is part of why I'm doing this series, to help people connect not only to the soulmates that are incarnated, but also those who are in spirit, because it's just you can do that. It's there. The possibilities are there. Um, so that even though if you are currently alone in this incarnation, that you don't have to be so alone, and that you know that they are there. Um, it can be very helpful. And also something else, something I completely forgot. Like, so some of these soul groups, some of these clusters have been shattered one way or another. Um, like I said, sometimes some souls or some clusters have chosen to disconnect and go their own way for a while. Others have been cut off. Um, a lot of things have happened probably I'd say the end of Atlantean times. Um, there's a whole lot of theories of what happened there. Explosions, uh, attacks. I'm pretty sure some soul groups have been separated. That's information. Some gnosis that personal gnosis that I got is that some soul groups have been disconnected, like split up on purpose, to weaken them. So yeah, so these soul groups have been subject to attacks as well. Attacks on, I wouldn't say accidents, but just yeah, messed up things happening, and that is possibly why some people are feeling disconnected from their roots. So what I'm trying to do here, mostly with this whole series and with the meditations that will be coming up, is to help people find and reconnect to their soul groups. And if they have already found some members of their soul groups, to enhance that connection and perhaps find more of them. And I will be going from, just friends, people who are friends or family, also to giving tips and tricks and information for people who are lovers. Because that's, there are so many options in what ways that a soulmate can manifest in your life. It doesn't have to be a lover. It can be your parents even, so. Okay, so yeah, it could very well be that you are sort of alone, or maybe some soulmates who are further removed from you are here. That's possible. I mean, after all, even your parents, you have agreed to be born into a certain family. That is already a soul contract that you have made with someone. So you're probably never entirely alone. But I do believe also that sometimes different groups of souls or different soul clusters will work together, because after all, we're all connected. If you trace it all the way back, we're all connected anyway. So I think collaborations between these clusters happen too. You may meet, you may have like tasks to do with people who are of a similar, kind of like a similar level as yourself, for instance, and they may be of another soul group, but it's like we're also at a time where people who have opened themselves up to closer soulmates, and who may have already found some of these closer soulmates, they're also preparing to build bridges between other soul groups and other soul clusters. So let me scroll back a little. Ooh, there's a lot of comments and questions here. I'll try to get to all of you. I really do hope that this is all clear, like clear. I'm trying to keep this all as clear as possible. Bella Blackrose asks, "How do you know or find your role in the soul group?" The thing is that that's all. It's kind of relative because I think the only way to really know is that you would, for that, you would have to have contact with your soul group. You'd have to ask them basically and see what they are doing and where you are in relation to them. Um, but also, for instance, if I take myself as an example, um, as each of my soulmates has a different role for me, I also have different roles for towards each of them. Like for one of them, he's my mirror, but I'm his mirror too. So that's the role I have for that one, and then there's the other. Probably, most likely, I think, is that if someone has a certain role to you, like for instance, if someone is your catalyst, then it's very likely that you have a similar role to them. If someone is your mirror, you are probably their mirror too. So that's probably a way to go about that, to try and find out what you mean to these to your soul group. But it's really, yeah, like I said, it's relative and depends on which soul you are asking. Transient, yeah, the hermit says transients can be remote fellow travelers of the same nature, like you meet on a train. Yeah, but still, if you meet someone on a train ride, they can still tell you some interesting stories, for instance, that or give you advice that you need. Mm-hmm. If anyone, okay, so if anyone has like has a really a question they really want to ask, and if I accidentally skipped it, please just ask again, so I will know, or try to like tag me in it or something. Okay, I think Dice Controller asked something somewhere. Let me find it. So Dice Controller asks, "What are my experiences with a soulmate?" Well, that's I. It's too much to even start. Like there are many. Like I have known my close soulmate for 15 years, the closest one, I'd say. Um, but as far as I know, they are not incarnated, um, which allowed me to really become creative in ways to be in contact to be in contact with them. Yeah. So um, yeah, creative, or also you have to hmm, work with that situation, and it's it's caused a lot of pain, but it's also been very helpful, and that's why I'm doing this series right now, because mm, I know how to communicate with your soulmates, even if they are not physically here with you. And what was at first extremely painful for me has now turned into something that I first accepted, and now it's really like something I really treasure a lot. It's turned into this. It was a rough diamond, and now it's like something that I'm extremely grateful for, and I would like to help other people reach that too. So that's why I'm doing this. So yeah, I've had some very, very painful experiences when it comes to soulmates, but also that turned out it's like, a rough diamond. If a rough diamond has to be polished, that's going to be rough and harsh, and a lot is going to have to come off. And yeah, and I can say that knowing, even if it's not in a romantic way, but knowing who your soulmates are in the astral is such, and valuing that contact for what it is, and not forcing it somewhere to be something physical. I mean, if that's gonna happen, that's gonna happen. Of course, it's possible, but it's so it's so extremely valuable to have that. So yeah. Let me see what else. So Ragnar says maybe reincarnated into nightmare mode you could view as having cleared the game on hard mode, then going for the platinum achievement. Yeah, there are so many different, that's another, yet another subject. I'd say that there are so many reasons to incarnate. Um, I could like make an entire video for that too. Most of us have incarnated by choice because our, like I said, our soul groups, we are like we are a traveling group. We chose to travel. We chose to travel here. We chose to experience because yeah, we wanted to go on a journey. That's how I put it, like very roughly. And sometimes these journeys cause pain, but we chose to experience that pain because that is a way to deal. It's basically a way to deal with our smallest, our lowest parts. Yeah. Um, so that's the reason, there are numerous reasons for people to incarnate, but it's usually a choice. Um, it's a choice to experience, a choice to learn, and sometimes your soul will choose a hard lesson that's gonna suck over here, but for the soul, it's like a leap forward. I might be missing a few things. Zulok says some of the most powerful spirits are manifested as people right now. Yeah, but that's also, like I said earlier, some of these powerful spirits are, the thing is, these spirits that we work with, um, they too are part of a soul cluster, and they might be part of yours. Um, because they are here too. They have not. They may be slightly. They may be ahead of most humans, but they are still here. They are They're part of what we're doing. They're here, so they're not fully ascended or disconnected from this place. They too have things to do in this place. So yes, some of them may incarnate. Yeah. Um, they too are still experiencing here, and some are incarnate in order to experience things from a human point of view. Others, sometimes they will incarnate in order to pull forth some of the rest of that group, like to be closer to them, for instance. That's another option. Um, because like I said, there can be a lot of difference, between the best student of the class or the fastest student of the class and the slowest. And sometimes maybe the faster ones um, have to come over and tutor the slower ones. So that could be another reason that spirits may, like well-known spirits, may choose to incarnate or even send a part of them over here. But they're still in this. Like we're all in this same shit. That's basically it. We're all here. They are too. Okay. So Arachnos asks, how do ancestors tie into soul groups? That could really be anything. Depends on who that ancestor is to you. Um, I suppose a lot of them tie into the larger cluster of your soul group, or that they are part of a soul group or a cluster that you are cooperating with. It could really be anything. It has to be something, at least. I guess your closer ancestors are probably somehow connected to you, either through a collaboration or at least some sort of deal you made to incarnate into their family. But at the same time, I think at some point, like further down the line, I think after some generations, it really, to me personally, it doesn't really matter. It could also very well be that you have absolutely no soul connection to your ancestors. That's to your physical ancestors, because that could be something very different. I think what's more important is the DNA of your soul, and not so much the DNA of your family, so to say. Sorry. Thank you, Amanda, for helping me light up the the questions. um, so yeah, that's kind of, I have a bit of a different view, I think, on ancestors in general. I don't think they are as important as they are made out to be. But then again, maybe to some they are, and it just, yeah, it's all one of these things that are relative and can differ for each person. I also think it's possible that, I personally believe in aliens. I believe that it is also possible that maybe since a lot of our soul groups are so scattered, that maybe some are incarnated on another planet, and so they are not, they are physically far from being your family. They may even, like their lower selves, their egos, their incarnations, they may even look like entire different species or something, but um, on a soul level you can still connect to them, um, because you know we get out of our bodies, so they can too. Amanda asks if oh wait, is there any more questions? I don't really know much about VK's work. It's different direction, I'd say. So I don't really have any experiences with that. Um, Amanda asked if a soul doesn't ascend with their soul group, does the whole group get affected by it? Yeah, that's yeah, and you know you all move together in a way. Sometimes you wait for them, um, and other times you may choose to. If you don't want to wait, you can choose to disconnect and go off on your own, or if it's really like taking taking too much of a toll on the rest of the group, um, you may get kicked out. And but none of this is permanent. So you are, there's always a way to come back. Sarah B asks, do you think our physical DNA is not reflected in the DNA of our souls then? Soul's DNA. Um, it could be, but it's not necessarily. It's not a given. Like it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, how else could it be explained that, for instance, some people feel so very very connected to a culture that they're not born into? For I have people who truly resent the nation that they live in, and just really feel like some even feel like they're like an entirely different, yeah, they just really feel no connection to their physical families. And yeah, that is okay. So sometimes your physical family is just sometimes your physical family is just really far removed from you, and other times, and they can of course be very close, but it's just not, it's not a given, or like a fact for that counts for everyone. So I hope that answers your question on that. Yeah, getting evicted from your soul group. It's kind of like, you know, if you're talking about being a classmate, you know, sometimes you get a timeout. So yeah, it happens. And the reason I thought of this, of adding this to this series, is because years years ago I went to a medium for some sort of therapies, and one of the first things she did was contact my guides. Your guides are, of course, also part of your soul group. So, yeah, contact my guides and ask if I was kicked out, because there was some sort of disconnection. And so the answer was no, she wasn't kicked out. She just walked out on her own. She wanted to go on an adventure. But that implied that there are people who indeed get kicked out, and they will have to do, like, they got some homework to do. Basically, that's it. And I, I'm going in the next few episodes of this. I will um, get more into this in depth. I have intentions to offer like meditations that people can do in order to find out what they have to do, what their homework is, um, if they have been disconnected. Now, but yeah, like I said, there are many different ways. Some are kicked out, and some have been disconnected through an outside attack, explosions, things like that. Yeah, exactly, Sulok. Everyone is different. That too. And everyone has different methods of learning. I see a few messages have been retracted. I'm not doing that. Okay. So yeah, I think if there are no more questions, I'm just going to like reel this in a little bit. Um, as for, I do have a bit of a plan for the next few videos that are coming up. I believe the next one, in the next video, I will be. It's something I'm still working on. It's very that's interesting for the meditations and the actual the more practical work. I will most likely be working with Archangel Michael, and I will be calling him Archangel Michael from now on, because the English pronunciation is just not what it should be. So I call him Archangel Michael. That's how I always called him. Um, he appeared. Part he does have a major part in both the scattering and the disconnecting of these soul groups, but also I'd say it could be. Well, let's say he's just eager to help people get back together again, and he's given me some very interesting, some really cool techniques that I really that I'm very eager to share with you, and that is what will be coming up in the next few streams. I will be today I covered the basics of what a soulmate is and what they could be, the roles that they could play, what sort of soulmates they are. In the next few episodes, I will be covering ways to contact them, to find them, either in the astral or in the physical. Anything could come up in the. I believe, if all goes to plan, throughout the course of this series, anything could come up. Like it could be someone physical, it could be a person, or it could be a spiritual connection. But anything to get back in contact with the rest of your soul group, or if you already know them, like to enhance that contact or get to know more of them. So yes, that's who will be helping. So yeah, Archangel Michael will be helping me with setting up these rituals. He's been very good at helping me word these things, like choosing the right words, because I receive a lot of information in Dutch, of course, or like I translate it to my own language, but in order to really, I mean, I'm trying to relay the information, so I have to do that in English. And yeah, he's been very it's really nice. He's been very eager to help out with that, and I think he has his reasons. I'm not sure if maybe those reasons will become clear throughout the course of this series too. And yeah, so that's kind of what's on the menu for the next few weeks. I think this will be a weekly thing. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Monday each time. It really depends on how much time I really need to put all the information into one thing or into something that is understandable for everyone. I personally think the next one is going to be heavy. Like it's probably going to be a bit of talking, but I'm preparing to do a live ritual or a guided meditation, and yeah, it's some serious stuff. So, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I hope you guys are too. Yes, Michael has, yeah, let's say his sword has done a few things. Things have happened. Well, let's say that some of these things that have happened are a very, very, very long time ago, and maybe things need to be repaired, and that's that's why I'm yeah. I think he would be a very, very good help at this. Possibly because he knows what happened, or part of what happened. If he was part of it, maybe he's the best one to give details on how to, I'd say, almost reverse certain things, or to heal from that or reconnect. I'm not like, this is like heavily, very, very personal, unverified gnosis, so I probably shouldn't be talking too much. But yeah, I feel he really wants to do that. Also, in light workers, say new age communities, it seems he's often the spirit people go to when they want to connect with their soulmates. So, but I also think that Michael is like, he is seen as this goody two shoes, but he's really quite dark. So it's perfect. Maybe I want to show how it's perfectly fine for someone on the left hand path to work with some of the archangels, because they're not angels, really. So, well, they are angels maybe in the stories, but yeah. How you love pugs. Yeah, I like bigger dogs. I'm not gonna, yeah. Not a big fan of pugs actually, but that's another story. I prefer, let's say I prefer a dog with a nose, but so yeah, I'm just I'm kind of trying, for anyone who still scrolls so far ahead, like what the structure that I want for these videos is that I want to put the most information up front at the beginning of the video, so that anyone who watches later doesn't have to, like, it's a bit I personally always find it a bit discouraging to see like a video that is 1 hour or longer, and it's just, yeah, I'm not gonna watch all of that. So I'm gonna keep the most important stuff in the front, and then after that there's always time for some chatting. But yeah, and yeah, my real name is Nicolene. Yeah. So guys, yeah, I'm just gonna round this up for now. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope you learned something from it. I understand that for some of you this is all like repeated, but like I said in the beginning, I had to cover these basics for the people who are like completely new to everything that's being discussed here. So yeah, I hope you're all, I'm looking forward to the rest of the episodes, to the upcoming episodes, and I'll be working with Archangel Michael a lot, probably this upcoming week or two. And yeah, I'm excited. So, so thanks everyone.